Truly, Louise is an academic, and she made some comments in her own bio that it's amazing how things change. Where she took a liking to languages. French, German came easily to her, and she had to struggle through Kit Carson's physics classes. And wouldn't you know, she's in the science field now. And she's really, really in a field that a lot of us will appreciate, and I'll get to that in a minute, but she's in an area that will impact many of our lives. After she escaped from King, she went to the University of Toronto and earned a Bachelor of Education in Physical Education and an education degree. So she started off in Toronto. Then she moved to the wilds of small town northern Alberta. She said it was a bit of a culture shock. No kidding. So she stayed there for a while, and then in '81 joined the Calgary Board of Education, teaching phys ed in junior high school. And in 1984 along came an Alberta Clipper and picked her up, and by the time she landed it was in Dalhousie. And while in Dalhousie she earned her master's degree in kinesiology. Then she went to the University of Iowa. This girl travels a lot. She switched back to the University of Waterloo. She earned a PhD in kinesiology, specializing in biometrics. I haven't got a clue what any of this stuff is. And after graduation, she went to the University of North Carolina in Greensboro. And in 1996, and I think this is where she likely considers her home now, she went to the University of Buffalo. So she's living in Buffalo, I assume, or somewhere close to, as we hockey guys call Barfalo. And she has developed the area of physical therapy. And she is now just PhD in that. She's the program director for the brand new Doctor of Physical Therapy program at the University of Buffalo. So for all of us that are likely heading for those knee replacements, hip replacements, and all that stuff that they now put in us, we need physiotherapy. And this lady is teaching in that area. She's doing research in that area. And she also gives back to her own community where she lives now by providing on Saturdays some physiotherapy and pediatrics, and maybe Louise can better explain what she's doing, but she's working with kids, which is a wonderful thing. She still participates in some sporting activities. She's not a total geek. She likes gymnastics, music, skiing, and obviously she's, like everyone else we induct here, a well-rounded person. I'd like to introduce to you Louise Gilchrist.
Well, like any true academic, I have my notes. I have to say, I was found last year by some other alumni of this university, and our university, can you tell where my head is, of this high school. And it has been quite an interesting journey back here. And this is my second visit back to the school, because I was here in May for the reunion. And of course, coming back brings back just this enormous flood of memories, both of things that are annoyingly trivial, as well as things that are much more significant. And then you also realize those things that you absolutely have no recollection of, and you wonder, why is that? But I'm not a neuroscientist. I just deal with the physical side of the body. But it does cause you to look back on your life and reflect upon things, and of course say, how the heck did I get here from there? Because I don't think I would have predicted it, that I would have wound up where I am at UB and in charge of a physical therapy program, nor would I have ever guessed that I would be a physical therapist, because that wasn't even on my radar scope when I went through school. I guess it all comes down to choices that we make. You know, do you go right, do you go left when you get to that fork in the road? I wasn't one of these people who had that overarching goal that I was striving for in life. And there have been times when I wished that I had that, because I thought then that decisions would be easier if you knew that this is the main goal that I have in life. Rather, I analyzed and analyzed again and overanalyzed and agonized, and then sometimes still ended up flipping a coin about decisions that I had to make. And sometimes I've worried that maybe the fact that I didn't have that overarching goal meant that I will accomplish less in my life, but I'm okay with it now. My life has had a lot of zigs and zags. I've moved all over. I've changed careers. I've done a variety of things that I think maybe the overarching goal would have limited me in, and certainly wouldn't have suited my personality. All the zigs and zags have been interesting, stimulating, challenging, and fun. I wouldn't trade having lived in many parts of Canada. I think that very much deepened my identity as a Canadian and really increased my understanding of what it is to be Canadian. And I would challenge folks that it's sometimes a good idea to get out of the Southern Ontario, Toronto part of Canada and experience some of the other parts of Canada. And I've been west, and I've been east, and I've been rural, and I've been urban. And then, of course, nothing makes you appreciate your background, your upbringing, and your country more than leaving your country. And so I wouldn't change that experience either. Although I do miss Canada a lot, even though it's been almost 12 years now since I've lived back here. Where am I rambling on to now? I don't know if the kids coming out of high school now have any more choices than we had back in the 70s. Certainly there were a lot of choices available to us. But what I do know is that they have a ton more information than we had about every choice they want to make. And of course, much of that information is very easily accessible thanks to the computer geeks amongst us. But along with that information, and information in generally is good when you're making choices, but it can be paralyzing. And of course, nowadays with the electronic and easy availability also comes issues of quality. But the bottom line is that no one can ever predict when you take that fork to the right or to the left, how that's going to interact with your genetic makeup and of course your background and your past. So in all this rambling, I guess I would say that for those people that have passions, I respect them, and I'm glad that they follow them and they pursue them and they fight for them and they let their lives revolve around their passions. But I think it's okay for the rest of us that maybe don't have that one overarching passion to pursue multiple interests, to take some risks. Maybe it makes life a little messier, but from my point of view, it makes it very interesting. So I will thank the committee for sure. It's just such a tremendous honor to be recognized here at home. Thank you.